Hello friends, this is Bhavato here. Welcome to my channel Perfect Analyst. In my last few sessions we discussed about date and time functions, and we have covered almost all the important functions or the basics date and time functions which is required for any project, and it is also mostly used date and time functions in any project. So we left two functions. One is UTC now and another is UTC today. And one more is network days. So this network days is very simple. I request you to practice yourself, and if you have any queries on that, you can let us know. About UTC now and UTC today, this is mostly required to return the current UTC date and time, and this will be mostly used when you have a Power BI services, because in Power BI services automatically it will take this UTC date. So in that time when you are publishing any report, you may require these functions if you are transforming from your dashboard, sorry, your report to a dashboard online. So in that time these functions will be required. So we'll have a separate session maybe later when we start using the Power BI services. So I just left these two for the later date when we will use these Power BI services. And this function is for you guys to practice yourself. So it is a home task for you. Today's session we will cover about aggregate functions, and there are many aggregate functions that can be used in Power BI. You might have used already in when you are doing in Excel, and many of came from Excel only, but there may be some additional aggregate functions in Power BI. So we have around 29 functions related to aggregate, and these are mostly used aggregate functions that you have to learn. And today we will initiate this. So first thing is we will start to learn about average function. This is one of the aggregate functions, and average returns the average of all the numbers in a column. Here average A returns the average of the values in a column, handles text and non-numeric values also. Average X calculates the average of a set of expressions evaluated over a table. So this is the definition. So anyway, we'll do this one. We'll practice now with an example so that you will be able to learn the use of these three functions. So let me go to the Power BI dashboard page, and we'll start with the average functions first. Mostly average function will be used when you have a column with numbers. As far as we know, when you are using Excel, if you have any numbers in Excel or any columns, then you want to average it for the total number of uh, for all the columns. At that time you are using the average functions. So how to use that average functions? So you need to create a column. So I'm just creating a new columns. So here I'm putting average, one equal to, or simply average. Now when you start typing average, automatically it is showing three functions. So I'm just choosing average. Now you have to think which of these columns is numbers and you want to average it down for that columns. So let me see. Here we have customer name, discount, order date. So many columns are there, and mostly numbers will be sales is a number, profit is a number, quantity is a number. So these are all numbers. So I'll just select here sales information. Let me select sales. I want to know average sales. So what will happen is it will take the average value of all the sales from this column, from this sales column. This is the sales column. So it is taking the average data. So 229 is the average. 229.858 is the average. So it means that one product or one column having this much sales in average. So maybe six, so might have 77, 405, 305, different numbers are there, but as an average, this is the sales. Now we are going to use average A. So what is the difference between average and average A? I already told that in average A, it also considers some non-numeric values. So in average A, what is the difference is, suppose if there are any columns blank, so in that case it will ignore those columns and based on that only the average will be calculated. So mostly this function is not that much useful. It may not be used for in the project, but yes, the function does like this. If you have any blank cells or even if text information is there, it will ignore those information and other columns, based on other columns the average will be calculated. That is the use of average A functions. Now comes average X functions. This function is important, average X functions. Why it is important? Because like say here we have sales column, quantity column, and the total sales will be 0.444 into 1. Here 1.08 into 2. So that's what we normally calculate and create another column for total sales based on the number of quantity. And then we will calculate the average. So in average X function, you need not create a separate total sales column. You can do even from these two column. You can calculate the average from this two column itself. I'm talking about the total average sales, not the only sales for one product. I'm talking about the total sales, the number of sales into the quantity. Okay, so let us try that one. Average X function. I'm creating one more column. This is for average X functions. In average X function, it is asking the table and the expressions. So table, I'm just giving this order tables. And now expressions. This is important. In expressions, you have to use this two columns, sales and quantity, and you have to multiply it. How you are going to use this? Sales, order sales into order quantity. Close, enter. Okay. So now what will happen is this 1149 is nothing but the average of the total sales of the product, not the single unit of sales, the total unit. You mean to say the multiplication of sales into the number of product that has been sold. So it is the average of the total sales. So I have not created any separate column for the total sales. From the sales and quantity column itself, I have calculated the average values. So that is the use of average x function. I hope you are able to understand the difference between these three functions: average, average a, and average x. So thank you so much for watching this video. I will come up with the next video for our aggregate functions. So thank you so much. Bye.